So some people have asked me to do a video on helping them fall asleep. Sometimes just listening to a voice, a television program, something on the radio, or even some types of music will help you drift into that space where you can relax and just fall asleep. To drift into dream world. Not into the bad dreams, but to the good dreams, the dreams of open fields, of bright, sunny days, of rolling ocean waves, if you're into that kind of thing. But something that helps you relax, something that gives you a positive channel in your mind to create the waves inside your brain that will promote a good 6 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm not really one for sleeping. When I was in my 20s, I was a disc jockey and working a day job also. And I would only sleep 3 to 4 hours a night, if that sometimes. Sometimes I'd sleep on my way home while I was driving, and that's never a good thing. But after that, I retired in my early 30s, and I began to realize the value of sleep. I felt better. I looked better. My skin was kind of pale and almost yellow when I was in my 10 years as my disc jockey days. But once I started to get the right amount of rest, which for me was somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a night, I began to look again and feel better. Even people who knew me asked, "What did you do? What's the difference here? What did you change in your life? Did you change your diet? Did you change your activities? Are you working out? Are you running, riding bikes, swimming?" And I really hadn't changed anything. All I did was get a little bit more sleep. So what I'd like to do in this video is help you achieve the same. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to give you a couple of secrets that help me fall into a more restful sleep. And this is a little strange. And I want to be honest with you. There are many things that help me sleep that may be viewed as a little strange. Now, I'm going to disclose them with you in case you're having a hard time falling asleep, because these things may help even one of you. If it helps just one of you people, then I've done my job for today. All I want to do is help you. So the first thing I've done is I've noticed, this is not promoting something you should do, but I'm going to tell you that it helps me. I'm not a doctor or a medical practitioner, or not a medical doctor anyway, but I could tell you that when I have shots of tequila and a margarita, even 1, 2, not enough to get drunk, because I can't get drunk. I get violently ill when I have too many drinks, even 3 drinks. My body just brings it back up in an awful way. It's just very not pleasant at all. So if I have maybe a shot, maybe 2, or a margarita, it makes me very tired and relaxed. Now, other alcoholic beverages won't do that. If I can't get the same type of reaction on beer, vodka, gin, anything else, it's just certain types of tequila. Well, the top shelf, the 1800s, something like that. The other ones will give you a pretty nasty headache, so you want to stay away from them if it's within your means. So, and there was a man called Robert who used to work at the bar who turned me on to this in the 1990s. And he said, "Hey, if you need some additional rest, you just want some relaxation, the only liquor that could do that for you, there's something about the agave leaf in tequila that causes that type of relaxation." And he was right. It's almost like a legal high, so to speak. Now, I've never heard anyone else talk about it other than that gentleman called Robert, but he was dead on right, and it seems to work. So it should be a last chance type of thing. If you can't sleep at all, maybe pick up a nice bottle of tequila and have a shot or 2. Not too much. You don't want to get drunk. You don't want to ruin your liver or get alcohol poisoning. Or certainly if you're going to drive, you don't want to do that at all. Don't drink and drive. It's very, very dangerous, not just for you, but for anyone else who may be on the road. This is a late night thing. If you're home, it's the middle of the night, and you just can't fall asleep, the tequila may be the thing that puts you over the sleepy time edge. Now, the second secret that I've run into in my own personal life is when I couldn't sleep after my first divorce, I found that I would be laying in bed, but I'd be uncomfortable in all the positions. And it may have been a mental thing. It's hard to tell. But what I would do is stretch my legs. Actually stretch your entire body while you're laying down. So you're laying down flat on your back. And you stretch your arms around your back as far back as you can. And then round them to your side. And do that a couple of times. But what really kicks it in, which really seems to kick in the relaxation for me, is when I stretch my legs. I stretch my legs out as far as I can, far and wide, a long way, just trying to stand up and be taller. Again, you're on your back, laying in your bed, and you're stretching your legs, and you feel the calf muscles and your thighs really start to stretch, even to a point where it may even start to hurt a little bit. And then pull it back. Pull it back, and then stretch them one more time. Now that they're a little more limber, just stretch out your legs as far as you can. It feels really good. You may actually feel some sort of rumbling in your brain, and that's kind of like what I equivocate to a cat purring, something that feels so good internally that it just makes your body kind of shake a little bit. It's a little strange, and not everyone will have the same reaction. We're all built a little bit differently, but it's worth a chance. So try the stretching exercises while you're laying in bed, while the room is dark. If you're afraid of the dark, you can have a subtle light on, a night light or something, or even the TV. But I find that the electronic things tend to be interfering with a normal sleep pattern. A lot of people cannot fall asleep without their television on, and that's too much background noise. You'll find that it starts to wake you up in the middle of the night. So if you're going to keep the television on, keep it at a very, very low volume. And also when the commercials come on, it seems to be very, very loud. They're always, for some strange reason, the commercials are always at a different level, and especially those with music. And they'll just pop out in the middle of the night and wake you up, and you don't want to do that, especially if you're having problems trying to fall asleep. So, and then the third thing is what we do is I've actually got two more, and I'll share these with you in this video. I was going to break it up, but let's do it on one in case you're listening to this, having a hard time. I want to try to help you. Is scents, the right type of scent in there. Whether it's I wouldn't opt for a burning candle because that may be kind of dangerous where you are. In some places, some apartments, it's actually not allowed. It's a fire hazard. But they do have the liquid candles that will burn with a little heater underneath, a little electronic heater. Not that that's much safer. They could catch on fire too, but it's unlikely that they'll be knocked over and cause a flame. It just causes more of a mess than anything. But it's a candle heater that sits underneath the candle, and it melts it in a more even way without producing the smoke or soot. And some people will find a lavender scent, or some people find the scent of vanilla, almost taking them back to a more pleasant time in their life when they're smelling something baking, perhaps around the holidays, or maybe back at your mother's house. Maybe mom was a good baker back in the days. Everyone's got a little bit different recollection, a little bit different memory, but that seems to work for some people, some of the right scents. And you can alternate them too. You could do flowers, roses. There's virtually unlimited scents in both in wax candles and also in the artificial scent makers too that you could plug into your wall. So that may be enough to just put you over the head, because smell is a very, very powerful sense. And in some people, maybe it's the scent or the smell sense that's putting you off. Maybe that's what's interfering with your normal sleep pattern. So you could try the scent mechanism to see if that eases your mind and allows you to get that 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And the last one is it's a little more subtle. It's involved with the electronic medium, which I'm not a big fan of, but it works for some people. And what you don't want to probably not put on is anything that requires your attention, such as a talk radio show or something that maybe a top 40 music station that has, again, loud commercials every 20 minutes that will wake you up. So if you could find something it's more sensual, maybe a smooth jazz station, You could sign up for the paid version of Pandora or Spotify, and it will cut out all the commercials, and then you won't have to worry about the interference there, and you just have a straight musical track. It's always better just to get an iPod or an iPhone or a Android device and create your own song list for several hours that will promote you and help you go through your normal sleeping patterns. For myself, I've done it for a while. I used something called the Chill Station. It was on Sirius radio back before they merged with XM. I think it's still there. I do believe it's still there. But there's a lot more music now in the chill arena now. And it's just it's an electronic derivative. It's like slow moving beats with kind of soothing female vocals usually. Not really much of a dance thing, although people do have chill dance parties in Miami, which was the strangest thing I saw down there. But the chill music has something to do with a synchronization with the relaxation senses in your mind. Somehow it synchronizes with your brain waves and induces a more chilled state. So that's another mechanism. So that's 4 mechanisms, 4 different things you can try if you're having a hard time falling asleep. I don't recommend going on the meds because they become addictive. And we're not sure what they do to our human body over the long time. I believe there haven't been enough studies showing the long-term effects of some of these drugs. And they may promote other types of addictions too, which is never a good thing. Could end up making the problem worse. Of course, if you have mental issues or you're dealing with something difficult in your life, the death of a loved one or the loss of a partner or a spouse, you may want to talk it out, talk to a professional, to a therapist, and maybe get it out there. A lot of us bottle things up inside our minds. I know I did after the passing of my father. It was a very difficult time for me when I was younger. And eventually when I did talk it out, it was a year later, I found I could sleep a little bit better once I've worked that out of my mind, because your mind will keep processing things. Even though you think you've put it in the back burner, it'll still come back up. Even once in a while now, I still have dreams of my mother and father, and they're good dreams, definitely good dreams. And it seems to be in addition to help me relax when I go back to some of my childhood experiences and combine some of the other methods that we've talked about here. So please like this video and subscribe to our channel if you like what you hear. We're going to try to put up more videos and more helpful recordings as soon as we can get some time in the studio to put it together. But thank you very much for listening, and I sincerely hope that you find your 6 to 8 hours of restful sleep every night from here on in. Thank you very much, and have a good night.